Hello anime and manga fans, I'm Kyle Glockner, and welcome back to Animanga. Now, normally I would open the segment with a short little intro, work in a few jokes, and introduce the anime that I'm covering today. But on today's episode of Animanga, we have something truly special. When you've been watching anime for as long as I have, shows start to kind of blend together in your mind. Similarities begin to show themselves and blur the lines between shows you've watched, but then you find that one really special show that just captures your heart in the most beautiful way possible. Today, I want to share with you an anime that has done just that. So without further ado, today I'll be talking about Keijo. Keijo, with 8 exclamation marks, is a sports anime about an alternate universe where a female-only sport known as Keijo became popular at the start of the 21st century. We follow Nozomi Kaminashi and her best friend Sayaka Miyata as they try to become professional Keijo players. Now you might be wondering, just what is Keijo? What kind of sport is it? Well, it's a sport where the girls try to knock each other off of platforms into the water with their butts. Keijo is a wild ride from start to finish. From episode 1 all the way to the end of episode 12, this show just goes for it. No holds barred. I thought the fights were going to get stale after the first few episodes, but Keijo blew my expectations out of the water with how in-depth and technical each individual fight was. This is essentially Dragon Ball Z with butts. But this show goes beyond the limits of a normal fan service show. Like I said before, Keijo is detailed. They go over training regimens, exercises, fighting styles, different stage types, in-depth rules, and even special techniques. I was honestly astounded by how intricate the details of the show got. Rather than just establishing the basic premise of a fictional sport, Keijo really puts the effort to build that sport from the ground up, remembering every little detail and explaining anything you could nitpick. I've seen more attention to detail here than in some plot-driven shows. And of course, as this is a sports anime, we have the stereotypical lessons of friendship is magic, teamwork makes the dream work, and all that fancy stuff. But I think it's interesting to see that applied to a sport that isn't necessarily as team-based as basketball or volleyball. At most, 4 girls from a team are playing at a time, and usually they have one-on-one fights, but there are some situations where team members work together to eliminate their competition. It's really interesting to see how the girls combine their own teamwork with the dynamic and sometimes random stages they're given. But I want to go back and talk about those special moves for just a moment, because honestly, they're my favorite part of the series. As if the premise itself wasn't crazy enough, they throw in these special moves that sound absolutely ridiculous, and the girls are just out there screaming them at each other. Some of them even reference other anime, such as Batak on Titan, a reference to Attack on Titan, or The Gates of Boodylon, which is a reference to Gilgamesh's noble phantasm in the Fate series. Now it's important to note that there are some slight differences between the manga and the anime, those differences being the 30 or so chapters that the anime just skips over. These chapters cover Nozomi getting accepted into school for Keijo, and with as short of a series as Keijo was, I can understand why I decided to skip ahead. The manga does continue past where the anime stopped for around 30 to 40 chapters, but unfortunately, the Keijo manga ended prematurely back in April of 2017. But honestly, the anime had just enough to keep me happy with what we got, so it's not all bad. Overall, Keijo is a fantastic show that I legitimately recommend. It's some of the most fun I've had with the 12-episode series that actually had me pausing episodes so I could finish laughing. And like I said, while the manga did get cancelled, there are still around 60 to 70 chapters that weren't covered in the anime. So if 12 episodes weren't enough for you, you can always check out the manga to get your Keijo fix. Keijo was directed by Hideo Takahashi and animated by Studio Zebic, while the manga was written by Daichi Tsuruyomi. Whether you think 8 exclamation points in the title is too many or not enough, I'm sure you'll be able to enjoy Keijo. For the plot. Definitely for the plot. But anyway, that's all the time I have for today. Let me know what you think by tweeting me at ZTV Goofing Off using the hashtag Animanga. Until then, I'm Kyle Glockner, and this has been Animanga.